Hello, I'm here in a little pen I've made so I can sit in with baby Blue. Here's our beautiful baby. And he's having a chat to Lucy through the fence. It's interesting actually because Lucy was incredibly broody for some of this year. I wonder if she'll see him as someone who she fights with or a baby who she wants to be the mother to. She seems to want to be quite close to him. I don't want to take any risks at this point with him getting picked on. And then of course we've got Levi, who's very irritated that he can't be next to me. And we've got Patsy. And then the hen's further down the garden. And we're here sitting right next to the enclosure where Ariel and Matilda and Charlene are all in there. And it's just, we've got this little puppy playpen so that we can sit in here. And they've got some grassy area and some dirt area so he can dust bathe in it. It's just a very temporary measure so we can sit in the garden together. But most of the time baby Blue's inside with me. So he's honestly so adorable. I can't stop looking at him. He's a baby. He's a baby animal. How can people eat these animals? I don't understand at all. He's just so adorable. And he just wants cuddles, and he's been sleeping on my lap, and you're gorgeous. But I want to go and see what those girls are up to. He wants to be with the other hens, but I've got to be a bit careful with him because he's only a baby. So today we only have 7 more days of the Chuff campaign left. So not long now, and we're up to over 53,000 on the Chuff campaign, which is very, very good. And by this time next week, it'll be my last video this time next week, and I will have done the endurance hike, and this little boy will probably will have grown quite a bit in the last week as well. Hello, baby. Who's that handsome? Hey? He really makes me realise how much we need the Hen Haven. It's just like, we've got to be able to offer these little ones sanctuary for life. And more like him. So many more, but I know there's hundreds of thousands of them suffering, but we need to save who we can, and I believe we can save many, many more. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about something really exciting, and it kind of goes along with our education programs in the Hen Haven. And as you know, we want to do education programs for all different ages, from preschool up. And when we get to the teenage years, we have a tool to add to the process of education of being kindness towards animals, and that is my book. So and I've already shown you my Amanda the Teen Activist book, which is a work of fiction about animal rescue. But this book, Saving Animals, is a book which is non-fiction about being an activist. So this is the first carnation of it. So this was published last year, Saving Animals, A Young Activist's Guide. But the exciting news is that this book is now being republished. It's been picked up, I self-published it, but it's now been picked up by a publisher, Ashland Creek Press, who are an ethical publisher. They do vegan books, ethical books, and it's going to be relaunched as Saving Animals, A Future Activist's Guide, which I love better than A Young Activist's Guide. It makes it sound like it's suitable for so many more people. It features a lot of my own advice, but it also features stories and interviews with activists between the ages of 6 and 22. And honestly, these young people are amazing. The things that they've achieved, it gives me hope, because I find a lot of the time I feel very negative about the way the world is. I mean, right now we've got the fires raging in California. It makes me very, very sad for all the animals and people caught up in that. It's just unbelievable. It also makes me concerned just for what our summer's going to be like. But we've got young people working really, really hard to try and change things. And I think that's in this book, we see these young people and we hear of their work. And there's all kinds of people featured in the book. So we've got people who do vegan outreach. We've got people who do animal rescue work. The new updated version has 4 new interviews with older activists who are 21 or 22, and that includes undercover work, it includes the clubs at university and things like that. There are so many. You can kind of have an idea. So it features a lot of stories about our rescued animals as well, how to put a campaign together. It also covers some of the stuff we've spoken about, like the hatching project. Lucy would like to be in the video now. I'll show you her. Here you go. Let's see Lucy. Hi Lucy. I feel like I'm an exhibit at a zoo. You come to see me? And baby Blue? Hey? You're gorgeous, aren't you, Lucy? What are you doing, Blue? Having a preen. I love these little trills he makes. He makes the sweetest noises, don't you? Yes, you do, baby. Oh, look at that fluff on his neck. Oh my goodness. Oh, sweetheart, what a life we're going to give you now. So we're going to have this book, all the writing's done for it, all the images, and it's just a matter now of the design that's being done by the publishing team, and the book should be published in May next year. So that's going to be really exciting because it should coincide with some of the Hen Haven stuff. Like if we're successful with the fundraiser by the end of the year, hopefully we will have secured a property by then and be setting up enclosures and be at the very beginning of setting up the education things. And a lot of the content of this book, it relates to what the kind of thing we want to teach at the Hen Haven. So it also, one thing that's important is it also covers self-care. It covers the idea that you don't wait till you're burnt out to look after yourself as an animal rights activist. You want to take action during your activism so that you can make sure that you don't become burnt out and it doesn't affect your mental health as much. I think spending time with rescued animals is definitely an important part of self-care, and that's part of what we want to offer at the Hen Haven as well. Hey love. So there's a lot of that in here. There's about how to organise a protest, organise a film screening, leafleting, posters, chalking, food activism, whatever kind of thing suits you as far as activism. I mean, for me, activism, I feel like it just resonates the most with me. Like to get an individual out of a situation feels so important to me. Like these disgusting farms, these horror shows, but all these other kinds of activism, they work together, they work alongside liberation, they work depending on your personality type as well. We've got also a lot about going vegan and how that is like the first thing to do really when it comes to helping animals and to spare them from the horrible lives they have in factory farms. So it's pretty exciting that that will be published next year. And there's a story in there of Hope. And Hope was a little chicken, very similar to our sweetheart here. Hope was she was actually in a slaughterhouse. She was in a tray of a slaughterhouse and she was about to be hung up by her legs. And Sydney Birdsave managed to negotiate her release. And it just happened that she was the one that the slaughter worker grabbed that was then free. And her story's in the book as well. And I couldn't believe it when I had her. I cried just thinking of all of the ones that were being killed and thinking of how lucky Hope was. And I feel the same about Blue. I mean, his chance of surviving out of thousands and thousands on that truck, and then there'll be lots of trucks coming from one farm, and then there's hundreds of farms, yet somehow he survived. And they all deserve this chance to be outside in the open air, enjoying the breeze, surrounded by some people and other hens that love them. Oh, I desperately want to have this enclosure for him so that he can stay with us permanently. Are you gorgeous? Yes. Oh. So I'm excited at ways that I can, have schools and they could all have a copy of the book when they leave, to use campaign ideas from the book, and especially for teenagers or those at university, to see if they can implement some of the things in there. There's just so much fun stuff in here. Even to the basic things like having a rescue kit in your car or the car of your family member who drives, so that if you come across someone who's been run over, you got like a possum or a bird who's been hit by a car, you have what you need to be able to get them to safety, to a vet, or to give them any immediate care. Or even there's things like with companion animals. There's a checklist in this book about what questions can you ask yourself as to whether you're giving your companion animal the life that they really need. Are there things that we can improve on? I mean, I feel that there's always things that we can improve on. And that goes for me as well. I think that we should never think we're doing the very best for the animals. There's always something more. So there's all kinds of things in here. I think it'll be really exciting for young and old. I certainly find it inspiring, to read about these young activists and how hard they're working and what they're doing. So I'll definitely tell you more about it nearer the time, and you'll be able to pre-order and things like that. But yeah, I just wanted to share it with you now as some really exciting news as to what's happening. This book should be a great one to gift to your younger friends and family members. It'll be aimed at a slightly older audience than the original, so it'll be suitable for those in college as well. And I just think that, this information, even for you, even for people like you and me, like just reading what these young people are doing, like we need the hope. Just knowing what's going on in the world right now, it can be so overwhelming. We need the hope of what these young activists are doing. So, talking of youngsters, how are you doing, youngster? Hey? You're enjoying sitting there, baby, having a preen? Little fluffster. Hey? Little squidgy fluff. Oh, you're lovely. Yes, you are. And then we've got Dylan the cat through there. Hi, Dylan. The hen's all under the bush. Patsy and Levi finding things to eat in the grass. Hey, Levi. Who's handsome? Yes, we know it's you. And then we've got some of the girls over in the enclosure too. It's a lovely day in the garden, not too cold. Beautiful. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. Say goodbye, Blue. Say goodbye. Oh, what a sweet.